Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so if you're learning English or really any language, you probably know this feeling. It's frustrating.
Mhm.
You can understand movies, songs, your teacher, no problem. But then you try to actually speak and nothing, your brain just freezes.
Yeah, total lockup.
Exactly. And the words, you know them, they're right there, but you just can't get them out. It's like they're stuck.
Oh, absolutely. That gap between understanding something and being able to produce it yourself,
Mm.
that's probably one of the biggest challenges for learners.
Right.
And it makes so many people think, oh, I'm just bad at speaking.
Yeah.
But that's almost never true. You've got the knowledge in
You
there.
just haven't quite flicked the switch for fluency.
Exactly. It's about activating that pathway.
So that's what we're diving into today. We've looked at some great sources, all focused not on learning more grammar, but on practical, active training. Our mission here is to pull out 8 really powerful tips, actionable things you can do to unlock your English voice and really build that confidence.
Yeah, we're looking at techniques backed by how our brains actually learn language,
Yeah.
trying to get past those common roadblocks.
Okay, so let's jump right in. The first one is foundational. It's about what happens before you even try to say a word.
Yeah, this is probably the number one thing holding people back.
You've got to stop translating everything in your head.
Yes. Oh my goodness, yes.
It sounds so simple, maybe even obvious, but it's the default for so many of us, and it's just incredibly inefficient.
It really is. Think about the mental energy it takes. If you first think of the entire sentence in your native language,
Right.
your brain then has to do 2 really demanding things. First, figure out the English structure and meaning, and then hunt for all the right words.
That's double the work. But it
Oh.
feels even slower than that sometimes. That pause while you're thinking, it feels like forever.
It is double the work.
Yeah.
And that pause, that's the sound of your brain juggling those 2 tasks.
Mm.
It's not just you being slow. It's the process itself.
So the goal is to
Yeah.
just skip the middleman?
Pretty much. You need to train your brain to go straight to English. Think in English from the get-go.
Okay, but how? You can't just flip a switch.
No, you start small, really small. Simple, everyday thoughts. Instead of thinking in your language and translating, just think, I'm hungry, or it's raining, or even just, I like this song.
Like narrating your immediate reality, but internally in English.
Exactly. Force that direct English thought. It starts rewiring your brain to see English as, a tool you can use right away, not some code you have to decipher first.
And doing that consistently, that builds the habit.
Consistency is absolutely key here. The more you practice just thinking these simple things directly in English, the faster those connections get. The cognitive load gets lighter, your brain finds the words quicker, more naturally.
Okay, that makes sense. So fix the internal process first. Then what? We need to actually make sounds right.
Right. Which brings us straight to tip number 2. Speak every day. And the kicker is, even if you're alone.
So you don't need a conversation partner for this part.
Not necessarily. Of course, partners are great, we'll get to that. But you can start building the habit just by yourself.
How does that work in practice? Just talking to the walls?
Kind of. The sources really emphasize narrating your daily actions out loud. Simple stuff. As you're doing things, just say it in English. I'm making coffee. Okay, now I'm walking to work. I need to find my keys.
Describing the mundane.
Exactly. The power isn't in what you're saying, it's in the act of saying it. Making English sounds, using your voice for English,
Oh.
it normalizes it.
It normalizes. How?
Well, if the only time you speak English is in class or, a super stressful situation like an interview,
Right, high stakes.
your brain starts to associate speaking English with anxiety. But if you're just casually saying, I'm buttering my toast in English.
It lowers the stakes. It becomes just talking.
Precisely. It stops feeling like this big, special, scary event that only happens sometimes. It becomes ordinary. You're building vocal muscle memory and reducing that performance anxiety at the same time.
Okay, but wait, what about mistakes? If I'm just chatting to myself and I mess up the grammar, isn't that bad? Like I'm practicing errors without anyone correcting me.
That's a really common concern and a fair one. But the focus here at this stage isn't perfect grammar, it's fluency and comfort.
Ah, okay.
You're training your mouth, your vocal cords, to produce English sounds without that panic response kicking in. The goal is getting the words out smoothly, reducing hesitation. We'll worry about fine-tuning the grammar later. This is about building the physical and mental endurance first.
So you're basically decoupling the act of speaking from the fear of judgment.
You got it, making it accessible, low-pressure practice.
All right, moving on then. Tip 3 sounds interesting. Shadowing native speakers. Or linguistic mimicry.
Yeah, shadow. It's a fantastic technique. Think of it like language karaoke.
Language karaoke. Okay,
Awesome.
explain.
You take a short piece of audio or video, maybe a line from a movie, a bit from a podcast, anything with a native speaker. You play one sentence or even just a phrase. Then you pause it, and immediately you repeat exactly what you heard.
Just repeat the words.
See, that's where people often stop. But the real magic is in repeating everything. Not just the words, but the spheres, the music of the language.
The music, you mean like the intonation.
Exactly. The tone, the rhythm, where they put the stress on words, even the emotion in their voice. You try to copy it all as closely as you can.
Like you're an actor mimicking them.
Precisely. By doing that, you're not just learning vocabulary. You're training your tongue, your jaw, your whole vocal apparatus to make the sounds and rhythms of natural English. It's muscle memory for prosody.
Which is huge for sounding fluent, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about correct words.
It's massive. It helps you internalize the flow and phrasing of English much faster than just studying phonetics rules. You kind of absorb it intuitively. It's known to be a really rapid way to improve both pronunciation and confidence.
Okay, I like that. Karaoke without the singing. So that leads nicely into tip 4, which feels related. Learn phrases, not just words.
Yes, this is absolutely critical for moving beyond slow, stilted speech.
We touched on this. Thinking word by word is inefficient.
It is, because real natural communication doesn't work like that. We don't speak by assembling sentences one word at a time from a dictionary in our head.
So how do we speak?
We speak in chunks. Chunks, phrases, lexical bundles, call them what you want. These are groups of words that commonly go together, like prefabricated units.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Instead of learning by, the, and way separately and trying to stick them together.
You learn the whole chunk, by the way.
Exactly. Or instead of memorizing can you give me
Yeah.
and, you learn the whole functional phrase, can you give me a hand?
Ah, I see. So you retrieve the whole unit at once.
Right. It drastically cuts down on that mental assembly time. Your brain doesn't have to build the phrase from scratch. It just pulls out the ready-made chunk. Learning chunks like, on the other hand, or I'm looking forward to, or what I mean is, that's how you start speaking more smoothly, more quickly, and crucially, more naturally. With fewer awkward pauses, you're tapping into how English is actually used.
Okay, so the first 4 tips are really about retraining our brains and mouths. Internal work.
Pretty much. Mechanics and mindset.
So part 2 feels like it's about putting that into practice and dealing with the outside world barriers. Starting with tip 5, join speaking communities.
Yes. Because while practicing alone is vital for building that foundation,
You eventually need to talk to actual people.
you do. And the good news is, it's easier than ever. There are tons of online platforms, language exchange apps, where you teach someone your language, they teach you English, Discord servers dedicated to language learning, online conversation clubs, lots of options.
What's the real benefit of that compared to just practicing alone or shadowing, even if it's just, say, once a week?
It's about applied confidence. Real conversation is unpredictable. You have to think on your feet, retrieve language under a bit of pressure. It forces you to actually use what you've been practicing. It takes English from being this theoretical thing you study to a tool you actively use to connect with someone.
And you hear different accents too, presumably.
Definitely. Which is great for improving your listening comprehension in real-world scenarios. Even just one real conversation a week can make a huge difference to how confident you feel.
Okay, that real-world practice is key, but it brings up a major hurdle for many people, which is tip number 6. Don't aim for perfection.
Ah, yes. The perfectionism trap.
It's huge, isn't it? That fear of making a mistake literally stops people from speaking. Silence feels safer.
It really does. It's a massive barrier. Sometimes linguists even talk about fossilization, where learners kind of plateau because they're too scared to try anything they haven't mastered perfectly.
Yeah.
They just stick to the few phrases they know are correct.
So the advice is just make mistakes.
Kind of. It's more about reframing what a mistake is. Stop thinking of them as failures.
What are they then?
They're feedback. They're your teachers, showing you where you need to focus. Seriously, think about it. Even native speakers mess up grammar all the time when they're talking casually.
That's true, actually.
The goal isn't to produce grammatically flawless sentences every single time. The goal is to communicate your idea. Did the other person understand you?
If yes, then success.
Exactly. Success. Maybe a preposition was wrong, maybe you used the wrong tense, but if your message got across, you communicated effectively. Prioritize getting your meaning across, not perfect grammar. Clarity over absolute correctness.
That feels really freeing, actually. It lowers the pressure immensely. Connection over correction.
Absolutely. Let go of that perfectionist ideal.
Okay, now tip 7. This one might make some people cringe a bit. Record yourself speaking.
Yeah. Nobody loves the sound of their own recorded voice, right?
Definitely not at first. But the sources say it's incredibly effective, even if uncomfortable. How does it work? Just hit record on your phone.
Pretty much. Use a voice memo app. Record yourself talking about your day, maybe answering a simple question like, what did you do this weekend? Or even reading something out loud.
And then the hard part, listening back.
That's the crucial part. It's tough because you confront the gap between how you think you sound and how you actually sound. But that's where the learning happens. Listen carefully. Where do you pause? Are you hesitating a lot? How's your pronunciation compared to the native speakers you've been shadowing? Notice your rhythm, your intonation. Be honest about your strengths and weaknesses.
So instead of just feeling vaguely bad at speaking, you get concrete data, like, oh, I consistently stumble on the sounds, or my sentence stress is a bit flat.
Exactly. You turn this fuzzy problem into specific things you can actually work on. It's self-assessment.
And does it help with confidence in the long run?
Massively. Learners who do this consistently often talk about listening back to recordings from weeks or months earlier and having this wow moment.
Is it really me?
Yeah. Wow, that's me speaking English. I sound pretty clear. That kind of self-realization, seeing your own progress, is an incredibly powerful confidence booster. More powerful than any compliment someone else could give you.
Okay, I'm sold. Might be awkward, but worth it. Finally, tip number 8. This seems simple, but maybe profound. Relax and breathe.
It sounds basic, doesn't it? But it's grounded in actual physiology, in neuroscience.
How so?
Think about what happens when you get really nervous about speaking. Your heart pounds, maybe you sweat a little. That's your body's fight or flight response kicking in.
Okay.
That stress floods your system with cortisol. And here's the key. High cortisol levels actually impair the function of your prefrontal cortex.
Which is important because...
That's the part of your brain responsible for complex thought, planning, and crucially, accessing your vocabulary.
So when you panic, you literally can't access the words you know.
Exactly. The panic itself causes the brain freeze. The words are still in there, but the stress hormones are physically blocking the doorway to retrieve them. It becomes a vicious cycle. You panic because you can't find words, which makes you panic more.
Wow. Okay, so relax and breathe isn't just feel-good advice. It's like a neurological reset.
It is. It's an immediate physiological intervention. Before you have to speak, especially if you feel that anxiety rising, consciously take a deep, slow breath. Like really fill your lungs and let it out slowly.
Okay.
And smile. Seriously, the physical act of smiling can trick your brain into feeling a bit safer. Maybe give yourself a quick mental pep talk. Okay, I can do this. I have the words. These small actions help regulate your nervous system.
Signal to your brain that there's no danger here.
Right. And allow those vocabulary pathways to open back up. It interrupts the panic cycle.
And connecting this back to the overall goal, fluency, how does relaxing help define that?
Well, it helps us understand that fluency isn't really about speaking fast. A lot of people chase speed, Thinking faster equals more fluent.
But that's not it.
Often, speaking fast just means speaking quickly with more mistakes. True fluency, the kind we're aiming for, is about speaking naturally, smoothly, clearly, communicating effectively at a comfortable pace.
So, calm, controlled, natural speech is the goal, not rapid-fire delivery.
Precisely. Focus on natural rhythm and clear communication, not just raw speed. Relaxing helps you achieve that smooth, natural flow.
Wow. Okay, that's a really powerful set of 8 strategies. We started with that common frustration, knowing English but not being able to speak it.
That gap.
And we've covered a lot, from rewiring your brain to stop translating, to using shadowing like karaoke, learning chunks, practicing alone.
Finding communities, letting go of perfection, recording yourself,
Yeah.
and just breathing.
It really emphasizes that the ability is there. You understand the language, the voice is inside you. It just needs to be unlocked or maybe trained.
Exactly. And the key takeaway now is consistency. You don't have to do all 8 things perfectly tomorrow. Pick 1 or 2.
Start small.
Yeah, maybe just try narrating your walk to the kitchen in English. Or shadow 1 sentence from a YouTube video. Every single time you choose to make English sounds, even for just 10 seconds, you're actively training your brain. You're building that fluency pathway.
It's active training, not passive learning. That's the shift.
That's the core idea.
Okay, we've laid out 8 really practical tips based on the sources we looked at. Now, as always, we want to leave you with a final thought, something concrete to take away and ideally act on immediately.
Let's connect it back to those first crucial tips.
Right. Thinking about tip 1, stop translating, and tip 2, speak every day, even if it's just internal monologue or talking to yourself. Here's the challenge. What is one specific, tiny phrase or sentence you will commit to thinking or saying only in English the very next time you get up or start a simple action?
It could be anything.
Seriously small. Will be, okay, gonna get some water, or maybe, right, need to check my phone, or simply, this chair is blue.
Choose one tiny thing.
Make that commitment right now. Because the moment to start building that fluency, to start that active training, it's always right now. You really can do this.
You've got the tools. Now it's time to use them.